Welcome to my channel UX Unboxed. While user experience, UX, might make you think of apps and websites today, its roots go way deeper. We can find traces of UX principles and design practices dating back thousands of years. Let's dive into UX design's history, analog to AI, with a history stretching back 6,000 years. Feng Shui, wind and water, is an ancient philosophy focused on creating harmonious environments that promote well-being. Just like UX design, it achieves this through balance. Feng Shui practitioners utilize yin and yang, complementary opposites, to achieve harmony, with these concepts further represented by the 5 elements: wood, water, fire, earth, metal. Similar to UX's focus on layout and functionality, Feng Shui emphasizes spatial arrangement and elements like materials and colors to create comfortable, supportive spaces. In essence, Feng Shui could be considered the original UX design for our homes, influencing both interior and exterior layouts for optimal user experience. Ancient Greece wasn't just a powerhouse of early civilization, it was a hotbed of groundbreaking ideas. From complex engineering feats, like subtly curved buildings, to philosophical giants, like Socrates and Plato, their influence shaped the Western world. Greece produced practical inventions that changed lives, from water mills and clocks to the ingenious Archimedes' screw. One of the clearest examples comes from the 5th century BC. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, wrote about the ideal surgeon's workplace. He emphasized the importance of tool placement, ensuring they're readily accessible and don't obstruct the surgeon's movements. This focus on optimizing the workspace for efficiency and ease of use aligns perfectly with UX principles we use today. The invention of the printing press by Johannes Gutenberg in 1440 wasn't just a technological marvel, it had a profound impact on the way information was disseminated and consumed, ultimately influencing the principles of user experience. Increased accessibility. Before Gutenberg, books were hand-copied, making them expensive and rare. The printing press allowed for mass production, making information more accessible to the public. This democratization of knowledge is a core principle of UX design, which strives to create user-friendly experiences for everyone. Standardization and consistency. Printed materials offered consistent formatting and layout compared to handwritten scripts. This consistency improved readability and information flow, aligning with UX principles that emphasize clear visual hierarchy and intuitive navigation. Visual communication. The printing press facilitated the inclusion of illustrations and diagrams in texts, which enhanced comprehension and user engagement. This focus on visual communication is a cornerstone of UX design, where visual elements are used to guide users and improve understanding. Birth of user segmentation. Printed materials could be targeted to specific audiences. Religious texts, pamphlets for the working class, and scholarly works were all printed, catering to different user needs. This early example of user segmentation aligns with UX practices of tailoring experiences based on user demographics and goals. Overall, Gutenberg's printing press laid the groundwork for the principles of UX design by democratizing access to information, emphasizing consistent presentation, and introducing visual communication. A new worldview emerged at the turn of the 20th century, the mechanical worldview. It is exemplified by the Industrial Revolution pioneers Frederick Winslow Taylor and Henry Ford, who both share the goal of making human labor more efficient and optimized. Frederick Winslow Taylor, a mechanical engineer from Pennsylvania, conducted research on the interactions between workers and their tools. This research is perhaps one of the first examples of systematic UX research. Summed up in Taylor's book The Principles of Scientific Management, it laid the foundation for Taylorism, known as scientific management. Taylor's focus on optimizing the relationship between humans and their tools can be thought of as a form of UX design principles. Taylorism is often criticized for not valuing human input enough, something Toyota Motor Company, founded in 1937, sought to correct. Toyota emphasized user input in their assembly lines. Workers could stop the line for improvements, similar to usability testing. They also developed the 5 whys problem-solving technique, which is still used in UX research today. Henry Dreyfuss, an American industrial engineer, is a major figure in UX design history, particularly for usability improvements. Dreyfus designed famous products like the Hoover vacuum cleaner, Big Ben alarm clock, telephones, tractors, and trains. His book Designing for People emphasizes designing for user safety, comfort, and efficiency for a wide range of people. Dreyfus's explanation of an industrial designer's role foreshadows the role of a UX designer. Success in design, according to Dreyfus, successful design avoids friction between users and products and creates positive experiences. In parallel with Dreyfus, another man was experimenting with UX design, Walt Disney. He is often called the first UX designer, and here is why. In the 1950s, Disney joined the amusement park industry, and in July 1955 he opened Disneyland in Anaheim, California. The brilliant innovator envisioned the park to be an immersive experience where every detail is accounted for. He called his team at the park Imagineers and even created the guiding principles for them to follow, which later became known as Mickey's 10 Commandments. These 10 principles resemble that of UX design greatly: know your audience, wear your guest's shoes, use good storytelling techniques, make use of all the nonverbal ways of communication, color, shape, form, texture, avoid cognitive overload, tell only one story at a time, bring clarity, create fun, pay attention to cleanliness and routine maintenance. UX design as a discipline started gaining momentum in the 1970s along with the era of personal computing. In 1970, the Xerox Palo Alto Research Center, Xerox PARC, opened that would invent the graphical user interface, GUI, the mouse, object-oriented programming which laid the foundation of the modern personal computer. In 1974, a small company MITS made the first personal computer, the Altair, that was popular among hobbyists. However, personal computers did not hit mainstream until the Apple that broadened the appeal beyond the hobbyists. Fast forward to 1984, Apple Computer released the original Macintosh, the first mass-market personal computer featuring graphical user interface, built-in screen and mouse. It instantly established Apple as a key innovator of user experience. The web's arrival in 1991 created a need for interfaces that were intuitive and easy to navigate. This focus on user needs marked the birth of web design, a crucial area within UX design. Websites required a clear structure for organizing information architecture, to help users find what they needed effectively. The visual presentation of websites also became important to guide users and create a positive experience. This highlights the connection between UX design, user experience, and UI design, user interface. Web design emerged as a specific field within the broader disciplines of UX and UI design, focusing on creating user-friendly websites. Don Norman, a cognitive scientist, is credited with introducing the concept of user-centered design in his book User-Centered System Design, 1986. This concept emphasizes designing products around the needs and capabilities of users, not the technical limitations of the system. Coined the term UX. First UX job title. In 1993, he became the first person to hold a job title with UX in it, User Experience Architect at Apple. Apple's UX leadership. Norman's work at Apple helped establish them as a leader in the field of UX design. His book The Design of Everyday Things, 1988, remains a foundational text in UX design. The fascinating journey of UX design continues to unfold in parallel to our technological advances, from artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, VR and AR to the dashboard of the future spaceships traveling to Mars. So what do you think is the next chapter in the UX story? Will AI write the next chapter of UX, or will human empathy remain the core ingredient? Can UX bridge the digital divide and create technology accessible to all? How will ethical considerations shape the future of user experiences? Will personalized UX take on new forms we can't even imagine? Thanks for watching this video. Leave a comment below, and let's keep the UX conversation going. Happy designing!